Welcome everybody. This is for AEP 800 Innovative Technology Integration. My name's Megan Beaker and this is Module 5, Barriers to Web 2.0. So a summary of the articles that we were to read. Article 1, Barriers to Web 2.0. It talked about tech being necessary in schools because of the careers that have not been created yet. Just relating it back to my school, I do think the digital divide is prominent in our district, not only between students, but between students and teachers and teachers and teachers as well. So I think this leads to a lot of advantages and disadvantages that were listed in the article. And I think that these are things that are present with almost every district and every school within the nation. Article 2, 7 common barriers. The barriers that stood out to me the most are the lack or no vision and the role of the teacher. I think that teacher buy-in is kind of a problem with the integration of new technology, especially with high school one-to-one. I think that many teachers don't see the benefits of one-to-one because they don't know much about the technology itself and how to use it within their classroom. So I think more training for Google Classroom is something that we need to do within our district to ensure that those teachers are using the new technology. Article 3, digital divide. The quote that stood out to me is, learning stops at school due to low SES. I agree with that 100%. I see a lot of very bright minds who are of low SES in our school, and I know that homework's not going to get done if I send it home because they just don't have the resources. They do have a computer, but a Chromebook doesn't work very well if you don't have internet access. So as a building leader, I'm interested in how our school can provide more opportunities for these low SES students, and I'm going to talk more about that in my presentation later. Also, Article 4, Open Ed resources. This article really excited me because I know that textbooks are not a one-stop shop and they are quite expensive. Many in our district don't even use their textbooks, which is concerning to me because those are taxpayer dollars that are just sitting around. So I want to, as a building leader, think about how I can incorporate the use of textbooks if they're available, but also see what open ed resources are available for teachers so that they can be the most effective teachers that they can be. Something I use in my classroom is commonlit.org to supplement the assignments that I have. There are a lot of good articles and nonfiction resources that students can access. So, do you feel the digital divide can be resolved? Why or why not? I think yes, and here's why. For one, we need to start up with building better infrastructure that's not just within our school district, but that is all over our state and all over our country. And I think it's a lot like when we compared to the electric industry, it was slow starting. And then when they realized the benefits of having electricity in every home, we started to build up that infrastructure a little bit more. So I think it's still a relatively new technology and it's just going to take a little bit of time to build that infrastructure up. I also think if we encourage and promote technology gradually to teachers who are a little bit more resistant, it makes it a little bit more accessible for them. They don't feel intimidated by the technology. They're able to say, okay, I can incorporate that into my lesson. So if it's just a gradual rather than here are 5 pieces of technology, make sure you incorporate them by the end of the year, that would be overwhelming. But to me, this gradual, hey, try out Kahoot, try out Google Classroom, try to add an assignment to Google Classroom and see how that goes. I think if you gradually introduce it, that will help. Also, provide better access for low SES students to succeed. I know that there's a park right next to our house that actually has free Wi-Fi. There's a little pergola area that they can stay and type, and when the weather's nice, that's wonderful, and it gets used quite a bit. But we have very cold winters here in Kansas, so it's not accessible year-round. Students would have to sit in their cars or things like that. So I think an opportunity for low SES students to be more successful would be providing hotspot checkouts. That's something that I would have to look into more, but I think that that would be a great solution for those low SES students to get their homework done in the evenings. And then responsibility to students today for tomorrow's career opportunities. Essentially, it's not about what the teacher wants necessarily, it's more about what our students need. So we need to be more forward thinking especially with what tomorrow might bring. There will be some challenges, and obviously, funding is a huge one. Funding is always a challenge in every aspect of something you're trying to introduce. Also, all stakeholders must be invested. So that would include parents, teachers, community members. They need to see why this technology is important to integrate in our classrooms. Also, it's a learning curve for many, especially teachers and even me. It takes time to learn how to use these products. So just providing more professional development should help with that, and also providing more opportunities and time for teachers to use this technology in real life. Also, technology changes so rapidly, it's hard to keep up with what's going on. So that's a concern for me because it seems like you buy something new and then there's something newer available. So just keeping up with that rapid change. What skill sets do you feel 21st century students must acquire before graduation? For one, I think creativity is important both in technology and outside of technology. Just the ability to think outside of the box, think creatively, brainstorm. Those are huge qualities. Also, digital literacy skills. I think students need to know how to type properly and quickly. They need to know how to run a computer, how to troubleshoot when their computer's not working. Just a basic understanding of how a computer works. I think they understand smartphones really well. I don't think they understand computers as well. Critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills are extremely important because we need to provide real life opportunities or real life problems for students to solve critically. That will benefit them in the workforce. I believe that people in the workforce want to work with people who have critical thinking skills both locally and globally. Also, grit and perseverance are extremely important. Those are just personals to me. Students have to continue moving on even though they have minor setbacks or somebody gives them a little bit of constructive criticism rather than just giving up and say, I don't want to do this anymore. Persevering through that and having grit and determination to figure out how can I do this better. Also, social skills, communication, and collaboration. I think that's something that every student needs to leave our halls, or before they leave our halls, they need to be able to have those soft skills. They need to be able to communicate with all kinds of people. And they also need to collaborate and understand how the collaboration process works. Work ethic, that kind of goes along with grit and perseverance, but I think work ethic also in technology is setting that cell phone aside and not looking at it every 5 minutes between a math problem or homework or things that you're doing. Really being in the moment and getting your work done before you go and play. And last but not least, digital citizenship. I don't think students realize how digital citizenship can affect their ability to get a job in the future, and that is something that's really concerning to me as a future building leader. So the impact that the global economy has had on my personal use. We live in a rural area, like I said before, so we have one internet provider, and there are many dead zones. So it's really hard when you're going through kind of the barren parts of this area when you're in a dead zone and you can't reach anyone. That is something that's kind of frustrating. Connection from world news to professional development to just staying connected with my childhood friends and with my family. So just the connectivity that the internet provides. Knowledge. We have resources at our fingertips. We're able to look up anything and research anything at the click of a button. And I do that quite frequently. Less paper and waste. Appointments, notes, recipes, photos, it's all on one device. You don't have to waste paper and worry, about those things building up. It can all just be on your personal smartphone or your computer. Communication and accessibility. I feel like I can be easily reached by parents and students if they have a question in my class or any concerns or things like that. I feel like as long as you have my contact information, I'm pretty easy to reach. And then something that my husband brought up is Amazon is kind of our Walmart. We do have a Dollar General store, but for bigger purchases and things like that, we tend to lean more on Amazon. We try to buy local as much as we can, but Amazon also is important to getting the things that we need quick. So the technology training that I will still need, I need to, in order to integrate technology in my current position, just putting my ideas to action, taking time to sit down, pick a few ideas, and actually put them in action to see how they go and to practice those skills. Understanding what a program or a piece of equipment can do to its full capacity. Like I said in my first video, I often figure out how to do something on a program, and that's what I continue to do time and time again, or every single year, which is not the kind of teacher that I want to be. I want to mix it up and make things interesting. Also, building up my knowledge base so I can troubleshoot more efficiently. That goes with both programs and with technology hardware. I want to be able to try to handle problems by myself and practice, practice, practice. Just finding time to work with all of the technology at my fingertips and using it to its full advantage. So, is our school or district equipped with 21st century technology? I think yes. We have laptops available for all staff. We also have interactive whiteboards in most of our classrooms. Like I said earlier, our high school is one-to-one with Chromebooks. Our junior high students have access to Chromebooks during the day, but they don't get to take them home in the evening. And then our elementary students have access to Chromebooks or iPads, depending upon what grade they're in, and also the addition of a new STEAM room. However, I do think that there is room for improvement. Some things that I would like to see in our school or district are junior high and high school lab and STEAM rooms, hotspot checkouts for those low SES students who need to get their homework done at night, maybe some more tech-based spaces, which would go along with the idea of labs and STEAM rooms, and also charging stations available for students. That's something that we've run into kind of a problem with, is not having a place to charge students' computers. So the advantages of innovative practices in schools, it definitely creates more peaked engagement and interest in what's going on. Opportunities for collaboration for all. This is both locally and globally, so we're able to reach out to almost anyone in the world. There's more real-world problem-solving projects and opportunities. Also, unlimited resources and data are just a click away. So any access to anything that we want is almost just a click away. Building confidence and critical thinking skills, and promoting tech-savvy, world-ready digital citizens. Some of the disadvantage of innovative practices in schools are funding and infrastructure. That's always going to be something I think that is something we have to battle, is do we have the money and do we have the equipment for it? Also, sometimes there's too much accessibility. Students are exposed to things that I don't think they should be exposed to just yet, and I think that that can be tricky. Also, added connectivity to social networking and cyberbullying, and I think that's due to a lack of digital citizenship understanding. It's just unfortunate how much social networking and cyberbullying creates problems in our schools. Also, it's too easy to copy and paste someone else's works and ideas. As an English teacher, that is one of my major pet peeves, is plagiarism. I hate it, and I see it all the time, and it makes me frustrated and a little bit disappointed in our students. Also, technology is constantly evolving, and it's extremely expensive to stay current. So, have you experienced problems with cyberbullying or other inappropriate internet use with students? I would love the opportunity to meet a district that hasn't, honestly. Logging in, so some things that I've seen is logging into or changing student information if they're not logged out. A lot of students will change the background on their web pages or things like that to inappropriate things. Looking at inappropriate websites and not understanding that certain websites are not useful for research. I'll just say that I had a student look up definitions on urbandictionary.com, and that is not an appropriate website to use. Cheating on assignments and plagiarism, that one's huge as well. And again, it hurts my heart. It makes me really sad. Also, social media issues outside of the school are affecting the school day. That one, I think, is the largest problem that I see within our school. It can totally ruin an entire day. So that's what I have. Thank you for